when you are writing statements, any single statement is called, then here you look at, there is these words, expression or statement and programming block. When you look at any simple, I think, here if you say that, int, here it says cadence equal to 0, and any block of, your code that is logically related, you can call that as a statement, sorry, expression. And a statement is a complete line. When you say statement, and these things are, you can pretty much, when I write a complete line, this is a statement. Okay. And then programming block means you can have something like, whatever I wrote. So this logic, this if block, if is a block. Okay, whatever individual blocks I have, okay, is a block. It's a it's a related set of statements. Or I can create a block. I can just, open this curly bracket and and start writing something. And you can actually put this brackets and write number of statements. So that is called a block. Okay. So if I take these statements, what I can do is, at times we may need to check if this condition is true or not. So when we go to the controlling blocks, the logic, whatever, typically in English, whatever we do, okay, if this condition satisfies, do this, else you do this. So the equivalent of language is that, I can say, now if I look at this statement alone, here this is a related code block. If cancel value is true, then cancel is true will be printed. Else cancel will be, what will be printed on the screen is that, cancel is false. Okay, so I can actually nest these statements. I can actually nest these statements in the sense, I can actually have within the if block, I can have one more if block. You can go to any extent based on your logic. And if is one of the simple statement, simple controlling block in Java. And you can have even a different, multiple else if statement. There is one thing called else if statement. Say if first equal to 10, then print something, or else if first equal to 20, then do something. Okay, else if first equal to 30, do something, or else, finally I want to do something. This kind of statement is also valid. So now here what exactly happens is, if I look at this particular statement, if the value in the first, assuming that first is an int type, it is declared as int in this particular method, Java file. So first, if that value is equivalent to 10, only whatever I write within here, I did not write anything, but whatever you are going to write, that will be printed. Otherwise, next check is that if that is not true, suppose your first value is say maybe 20, then first is not 10, so this condition will not satisfy, so it will go to else condition. It will check else if first equal to 20. If the value is 20, then if you write something in this block, that will be printed. Okay, otherwise next it will go to next if else if block. Here it will check whether first is 30 or not, and if that is first is 30, then whatever you are going to write here, that will be executed. Otherwise, by default, if you want to do something, sorry sorry, so the whatever you want to write by default, that will be printed. I mean, if you whatever you are going to put it, if say if the value is say 25 or 35 or 40, then it will come into this one. So this is nothing but if else block. If else block. So this is a simple, but still, many times we will be using this kind of logic. We really need to do in the real life. Our brain processes these things. Okay, so if you go to a shop, if you want, maybe your first preference is if there is a red shirt, you will buy the red shirt. If not, maybe you want to buy maybe black or green. You will have some preference, and that executes. You execute that automatically. You will never uh, really pay attention to it that your brain is doing some logic, because it is so natural. But in case of computer, we need to tell it what it really need to do. So computer is as good as the logic that you write. So so this is about if block. Any is this clear? Okay. Okay, I mean, I'm actually like, I think if there is any, I mean, we will use, I'm going to introduce other programming blocks as well. So if else is done, and then I'll do something called for. Okay, and what I will do is that, suppose if I want to print numbers 1 to 50, if I want to print numbers for 1 to 50, Brett, what is the suggestion you can make with the learning that we made so far?
Let me see here. Else if
I want to print all the numbers. I want to print all the numbers. I can do something like this, right?
System out print.
Yeah. I can do like this, right?
I guess.
Yeah. So
One,
until
two,
50 I
three.
need to do. Okay. But if you notice these particular statements, there is a lot of repetition.
50?
You are
Why
repeating
50? Why not 30?
50, 50.
Why does it go to 50 though? You have it else if first equals 30. Is that not part of it? Right above?
No, no, no. I didn't get. Can you come again?
Go on, go on.
Yeah. No, what I'm actually like looking at is that, print in the output. I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, so on
Oh, okay.
until
Okay,
50. I want to print this is doing some magic. I want to print until 50. Okay. So one crude way of doing that is that, you just print like this. You print all that, for every number you write one system.out.println. But then there is too much of repetition. You are writing same line, system.out.println 50 times.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be 50 lines of code. So I can remove that. I can say that, maybe you initialize your int, say number equal to, say 1. So, and then I have some programming block called, number equal to 1, number less than or equal to 50, number plus plus. Or even I can declare this right here. Now instead of 50 lines, I am actually achieving the same thing in just 3 lines. Let me see the output. See here, I have the numbers printed. I mean, I have some other statements as well, but then finally it's printing, the 1 to number 50. So this is for, and the syntax for condition is the for statements or for block is that, I say for, and then open your bracket, then and now see, now what I'm doing is I'm putting two semicolons. Now let me relate this. First, there is one statement. It says int number equal to 1. That is nothing but initialization. I'm initializing something. Okay, this block is called, this one is called initialization. Okay, and then second is a termination condition. When should I stop my loop? Okay. Next is increment condition. And oops, I guess I should put everything into comment. Okay, so now if we just do I'll show you one interesting behavior. If you can pretty much do like this, and then say suppose int number equal to 1. Can you guess the output of this? I'm not doing any initialization. I'm just leaving empty blank here, blank conditions. I just mentioned, there are two semicolons required. I'm just putting those semicolons alone, and then I'm trying to print something. What will happen?
One?
Let us see.
I don't know.
No, now look at the output. It is 1, correct, but it keeps printing. It keeps printing. There is no, I mean, it doesn't know where to stop, because there is no termination condition. If I look at this particular statement, this is a second one is a termination condition. Here I am saying number less than or equal to 50. The moment number is less than or equal to 50, I mean, if it is, say suppose if it encounters as number value as 51, that means that it will stop. The moment it sees number value as 51, it will stop, because my condition is it should be less than or equal to 50. But in this case, I did not mention anything of that sort. So it continuously prints the number, or I can actually remove this block and we'll see how it really works. See here, it keeps printing numbers, continuously increments and keeps printing the numbers. It's running so fast that the numbers are incremented. I'll just stop. So when you are writing a for loop, the termination condition is very important statement. So we need 3 different statements. I mean, technically for just needs just two semicolons in between, but before the semicolon, first we need to have initialization block, how you want to initialize the loop, and how you want to terminate second, next, okay? And then finally, increment condition. How do you want to increment the number? So this is for the regular for loop. Is this clear?
I think so.
Okay, fine. So there is another alternative to achieve the same thing. That's called while and condition. I'll say, suppose if I say int number equal to 1, and here I will say number less than or equal to 50. I say number, and then I'll say number plus plus. So this actually, this while is nothing but, as long as, while this condition is true, the next statements, whatever is there in this block, will be executed. And when you are using while, maybe that you need to, we need to increment the value mandatorily, explicitly we need to do it. If I don't do it, what will happen is, again, it will keep printing the number 1 always continuously. So I need to do this. Let me run this. See here, within while, it printed number still 50. So to do the same thing, you can either use the for loop or even while loop. There are different options, and in few cases you may have to go with while condition. They are also called as loops. While because it will continuously loop for the specific number of times as mentioned in the conditions. So this is while statement. So in the while loop, what we'll do is we will specify the condition, okay, termination condition, or not really termination condition, but as long as this condition is true, whatever statements are there within this loop, they will be executed. Whatever statements are there within this loop will be executed as long as the condition mentioned in the while is true. Suppose if I make this as a 51, so actually it did not even enter into this loop because the value is 51 and number is less than or equal to 50, but number is 51, so it is not really less than or equal to 50, so it will never enter into this particular loop. Suppose if I mention this as a 45, so it will only print few numbers. It will only print the numbers from 45. See here. So that's about while loop. And a little different way of using while is, there is something called do while.
So if I type what you type, it should be running like yours, but it's not.
Which one?
I just tried typing what you had, the int number equals 1, while number is less than or equal to 50. I typed all that and ran it, but it didn't really do anything.
Did you write this statement as well, print statement?
Yep.
Is it? Show me that. No, you have errors.
Yes.
You have errors in your code. You have so many errors, see here. All these red
Yeah,
ones.
she's there, but
No. You need to fix the errors. because it says exception in the thread main. You have compilation errors. So you wrote some part of my code. That is the reason you see. You just go to this first if condition, first equal to 10. On top of it, just press enter. Declare int first. Before that,
Here.
press enter there. Enter. Yeah. Now go to the top line and just declare int first. Yeah. Int space first. Yeah. First equal to, maybe you make that as a 10. Equal to 10. Semicolon. Yeah. The termination condition for any statement is you end with a semicolon. That is mostly common with most of the languages. Okay.
Yeah, even.
And then you have one more error. One more error here is that the red line, when you declare a variable, you need to just declare once, not multiple times. So just remove this line because it is already declared once before the for loop. Perfect. Now try. Yeah. Proceed. Oh, you still have some errors?
Yeah, there could be some up there.
Uh-huh. Okay. You need to, can you do Control Shift F, hold Control and Shift and press F. That is for formatting.
F.
Control Shift, hold both of them together, with your fingers and then press F.
Yeah, it's not doing it. Maybe
Okay.
try.
You can't do anything. Okay,
On a
fine.
Mac, maybe I do Command.
Now, I think what the mistake is that the number of brackets you opened and you closed and it is not equivalent. So please go up.
Should I get rid of these?
Maybe you need to delete one. No. I think this is not the one. You go to the up. Go to the top of this file. Okay. Scroll down little now. Yeah. You remove this. Okay. Now come down. Okay. You need to remove the other one as well. There's one more bracket on top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remove that one as well. Okay. Now scroll down. Now you close. You need two more closing brackets. While for, I think this you
Add one more, maybe? No?
yeah,
Yeah.
save and you now run it. Why you don't see any output here? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
your computer is slow. It printed everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. I'll take the control.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So these are the, if I look at the do while statement, I'm talking about do while. Here the interesting thing is, if I make this as a 51, when I do Control Shift F, it is supposed to format, but even I have some error. Okay. Yeah. When you do Control Shift F, it actually formats your code. Other shortcut for this is you can right click on the code window, look at the source. There's something called, format. When you click that, it will actually suppose um, I'm doing something like this, okay, and now when I do format, it will align the code in a proper way. Proper indentation will be there. Indentation is something that we really need to follow. How, now see, if I look at this particular code, for loop, let us take this as a for loop. Now for I started here, but the next line is into, there is a tab. I'm giving a tab space and then starting the next line. So if I need to write something, again I need to write here. And then suppose if I do some if condition, then again, you will write in within, you'll do proper indentation. That's only for the readability.
Kind of nest it like in HTML, so you could see where, if you have an error, where it would be, right?
Exactly. And it is more important in HTML than in Java, because here compiler will throw the error immediately. In HTML, if you do a mistake, then you need to again, check. If you are using Dreamweaver or so, then it is fine. But otherwise, you need to run that, and in the browser, you need to see the output, and it is very tricky to figure out if you miss something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in case of Java, it's that, compile. If you do any mistake, compiler will throw error. But still, it is sometimes, if you have so many lines of code, if then fixing that error will be complex. But otherwise, for simple programs, generally it is not a problem. But it is always best practice to follow proper indentation. Okay. Now I'm talking about while, do while. So in case of while, if my value is, say, if it is 51, then this while condition will never be executed. Okay. But that we saw just now. And in this case, the while will be executed and numbers 1 to 50 will be printed. Now, at times, you may want to at least run this logic once. So, I'll show you this. Now, I'll make this as a 51 in both the cases. Now, I have while and do while. There are two different constructions. So see here, I saw output of do while 51, but in case of while, I have within while and the number. Nothing is printed there. Nothing is printed there. So that actually means that while condition. Where is my console window? Let me bring it down. Down to the bottom. Yeah. Okay. So in case of while, first the condition is checked always. If the initial condition, if it is matches, then only it will execute the statements below. In case of do while, what happens is, it will do the logic first, okay, one round, and then it will check the condition. If the condition matches, it will go above again it will execute the statements. If not, it will come down. It will exit from the loop. So do while, it does the same thing as while, but it will make sure that the whatever logic you are writing, that gets executed at least once, because condition is not checked first. The statements are executed first, then the condition is verified. Now the condition is checked and say, okay, this condition is failing, so it will exit. In case of while, what happens is the condition is checked first. If the condition fails, then it will never enter into the loop. No statement will be executed within the while loop. But in case of do while, the statements get executed once at least. If the condition is, even though the condition is not satisfied, still it will execute once, and then it will and then it will exit. Okay, so that's about do while. So they are the basic language constructs. I have please do practice this, and for if conditions I'll introduce there is one more thing called the switch. I'll talk about switch tomorrow, that is day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we will not have any class, but please do go back and practice this code. It will, if you have any questions, please do come back to me. They are very basic, simple things. If you already know, it is fine. Otherwise, Brett, in your case, you need to practice it little bit more. So whatever conditions we are discussing about, there is a if, and I introduced or operator, and also we discussed about the boolean and if else, negation, exclamatory mark, and then you have if else, if else, then for, do while. So these are the things that we have, and yes, you need to just get comfortable, do a little bit programming, and you will be very much comfortable. They are very basic things that we are discussing now. Just that the introduction to the language basics. Okay, so we will continue further. We will discuss about the switch case, and also we will go forward in the next class. Maybe I'll try to introduce you to something called SVN, subversioning system, and that's where we will be storing all our files in a global common repository, and I'll discuss that, and then we will go into the object-oriented concepts. We will discuss object-oriented concepts, and then we will enter into some serious stuff. Okay.
How do you suggest I practice this stuff? Like, I'm not sure how to practice it.
Okay. So I'm actually sending you the files, right? So just try to do the execute the statements, and see this, and you create one more file. Try to write the code on your own. Suppose now if I send you operators.java file, okay, what you do is you try to write one more class, operators1.java or something like that, and try to write similar code. Try to achieve. Suppose if you need to
change it around.
Sorry.
Just change it around.
Yes, I mean first you try to use my class and try to look at it, try changing it, something you play with my code, and then without disturbing that you create one more file where you write everything on your own.
Okay.
Simple check, if else blocks, then while, then do while, all these things you try to do on your own.
Try it and then run it and see what the outcome is.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay then. Thank you so much. And see.
Okay. Thank you.
You on? Bye. Yeah. On my Saturday morning and your Friday evening. Bye.
Fine.
And there's no class tomorrow. There is no class tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got an email for that.
Right. Yeah. Thanks. Bye bye.